Right now at 5, 9/11 remembrance ceremonies in the 4 states. How the PSU ROTC marked the 24th anniversary.
And our second summer kicking into full gear today as temperatures continue to climb. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, members of Gen Z talk about the impact of 9/11, a day many of them don't remember.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Friday. Finally Friday. September the 12th. We've made it through yet another week, and it's going to start to feel a little more like August the 12th than September the 12th out there as our temperatures begin to climb. However, right now, not doing too bad. Going to start with that live look downtown Pittsburgh. Got some partly cloudy skies across the area. We are otherwise dry and looking pretty decent. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line in Joplin. Looking good as well. Future track into the afternoon and evening, just a few clouds out there. That's really the only expectation we have. It's the only thing that's really going on outside of the heat is we could have a few passing clouds rolling through the afternoon hours. Quick look at those temperatures though. They're not bad, but they are definitely not where they should be. We're at 68 in Joplin and in Pittsburgh and across the region. Take a look at these numbers here. We've got most of us mid to upper 60s. Do have some low 60s down south. Miami, Anderson, for example, both at 63, but most of us, again, getting close to 70-degree territory so far this morning. Kids getting on the bus. We're looking to be back upper 60s as they head out the door. Partly cloudy skies. We should have just a few clouds here and there heading to the afternoon and evening hours, and we'll go about the upper 80s by lunch and recess time, low 90s by the time they start heading home later this afternoon. We'll go mid 70s at 9, upper 80s by noon, and our highs today low to mid 90s with the southwest breeze at 5 to 10 miles an hour. And again, those mostly clear skies. It is really, truly, I know I said it yesterday, so I probably will try everything I can not to say it again, but it really is a second summer, and it's going to last for the next several days as temperatures stay into the 90s. Could even get some heat index values as early as tomorrow. We'll go over those details, talk about some rain chances, and when this summer stuff will eventually come to an end here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, 24 years ago on September 11th, 2,977 people were killed in the largest terrorist attack in history. While those attacks took place in New York, Virginia, and Pennsylvania, their impacts were felt around the world, including right here in the 4 states. And every September 11th, people around the 4 states recognize and remember that day. Annual Patriot Day Remembrance began yesterday morning at 8 a.m. at Kearney Smith Stadium. Cadets fired the cannon at the exact times of the attacks and collapse of the Twin Towers, then took turns reading the nearly 3,000 names of those who died. For every name they dropped for a push-up for one cadet. The tradition carries special meaning.
The idea of what we want today is to bring an emotional impact to help them remember why the nation came together, why it brought courage and unity that kept us strong and kept us pushing forward.
Now, first responders in the area took a group photo while the Pittsburgh Fire Department flew the American flag from its ladder truck. More ceremonies are held across the 4 states honoring the heroes of September 11th. In Joplin, where Army National Guard Armory on 32nd Street hosted a 9/11 remembrance ceremony honoring the first responders who sacrificed their lives. Salutes were rendered, the American flag presented, and a processional walk-by and moment of silence was observed for the victims of 9/11. The event featured a speech from Petty Officer First Class Brian Jones and a reading of the 9/11 timeline. And the Baxter Springs Fire Auxiliary also marked the occasion with an annual event. The 343 Memorial Stair Climb took place at the 24-hour Elite Gym next to Joplin's North Park Mall. Firefighters from 3 different states participated in this year's event, which showcases a stair climb for some in full gear, just like the 343 New York City firefighters who died on 9/11. And the Heartland Patriots Festival also marked the occasion in Joplin. The 9/11 remembrance ceremony took place at the National Guard Armory. Well, more and more people are entering adulthood who either were not born or were not old enough to remember that day. KOAM's Anthony Saviello speaks with them about how they approach the day and the meaning it carries.
At only 25 years old and a part of this world's second youngest generation, there's not much I can say when it comes to remembering the tragic events of September 11th, 2001. That being said, I've made it my duty over the past several years to understand more and more about how these events shook a nation and shaped it for the next 24 years. So how do others in my generation remember the tragic events from 2001?
My mom's a teacher, so every time she talks about it, it's just like she was in her classroom and they all stopped their classes and turned on the TVs and just kind of watched it. And I feel like that's how my teachers explained it too, like in high school. But that's pretty much all that I feel like they've told me.
I wasn't alive during that time. I was born during 2002. But that happening a year before I was born has still affected kind of my life, right? It's affected how the country has been shaped since then.
It was such a disaster and like devastating thing that happened to our country, but also it brought people so much closer together and we were so united afterwards.
But can the same still be said today? In our world's current climate, when it seems we are growing further apart every day, how do we apply lessons learned from 24 years ago?
Even nowadays, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of differing opinions, different views, but that's the culture of still being united. I think is still a possibility that we should really seek more, especially in our generation as we grow up and we decide kind of what issues are important to us and what stands to take. It's important to remember that in the end game, we're all Americans and we're all here united in the sense that we all love our country.
Think about what brought the country together, and I think now, obviously, with Charlie Kirk and the school shooting that happened yesterday, I think people are still too focused on all like Charlie Kirk's views and the things he said instead of he was a father and a friend and a decent man, and I think people need to focus on the human aspects of life instead of just the political views or other opinions that whoever people may have.
In Pittsburgh, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Memorials were held around the nation yesterday in remembrance of the 9/11 attacks. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, President Trump's 30-day takeover of D.C. police nears its end. Plus, artificial intelligence falls short in mental health prediction, and hot and sunny weekend across the 4 states. Chris has a look at your weekend forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Time now, 5:07. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch, according to the D.C. Mayor's Office, President Donald Trump's 30-day emergency declaration in the nation's capital city is set to expire at the end of the day, but the federal law enforcement surge is expected to continue. Julia Benbrook is at the White House with what changes and what stays the same.
There are several different parts to this. President Donald Trump deployed National Guard troops who are stationed in various areas across Washington, D.C., and at least part of that is expected to continue. But he also effectively took temporary control of the D.C. Metropolitan Police, something he's able to do under the D.C. Home Rule Act. Once the emergency declaration ends, Trump will lose his broad authority over the local police for federal purposes. But the federal law enforcement surge is expected to continue. Last week, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser signed an executive order requiring ongoing coordination with various federal partners, though Immigration and Customs Enforcement and the National Guard were notably excluded. White House officials tell CNN that Trump is fine with letting his 30-day D.C. takeover of the police lapse, arguing that order helps achieve their goals. Now, although the president has more power in Washington, D.C. than he does in other cities, Trump continues to preview next steps when it comes to his anti-crime agenda and immigration crackdown.
We're going to be announcing another city that we're going to very shortly. We're working it out. The governor of a certain state would love us to be there, and the mayor of a certain city in that same state would love us to be there. We'll announce it probably tomorrow, and it's going to be something where we'll do like we did here.
Data shows that crime in the nation's capital city has gone down over the last few weeks, but it's not the only area impacted. Tourism numbers also appear to have taken a hit. At the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Well, as the Trump administration signals it may wind down direct control of D.C. police, federal enforcement remains on the ground, and the president continues to hit at expanding this approach to other cities. Experts say the lasting impact on public safety, local business, and tourism remains unclear. Well, still to come, important news for women who've beaten cervical cancer. Plus, hot and sunny conditions. Chris has another look at today's forecast. Well, the 77th annual Emmy Awards are on CBS this Sunday. To celebrate the best and brightest in television, Dina Demetrius has a preview of the big event.
With the red carpet now out at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles, the countdown has begun.
We're going to go write more today and then tomorrow and rehearse.
Emmy host and comedian Nate Bargatze is set to bring his family-friendly style to the big stage for the first time.
I think I need to be entertainment, and I need to be a place where people can come and have some comfort.
I actually want to talk to you about awards season.
This year, the comedy series The Studio on Apple TV earned a record 23 nominations.
Hollywood loves to award Hollywood. So when it comes to a show like The Studio and even Hacks, that could pay off in a really big way for them.
The four of you have become known as the face of severance reform.
But with 27 nominations, the dystopian Apple TV series Severance is likely to dominate the evening.
The prodigal son returns.
With stiff competition from HBO Max's medical series, The Pit. 39 big names, including Catherine Zeta-Jones and Jude Law, are part of the star-studded lineup of presenters this year.
Look at the evidence.
Fellow presenter and star of the CBS reboot Matlock, Kathy Bates, has already made history with her Emmy nod.
She is the oldest nominee in the category for lead actress in a drama and is likely going to take home that trophy.
Emmy producers say the audience can also expect some nostalgic moments.
We've got a good Paradise moment with Sterling K. Brown and James Marsden, but we also have a reunion of two actors from Grey's Anatomy celebrating 20 years.
A tribute to some iconic shows on television's biggest night. Dina Demetrius, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Now, to keep the winners from going over their allotted time, Emmy host Nate Bargatze says he's donating $100,000 to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Now, you can watch all the excitement right here on KOAM Sunday night and streaming on Paramount+. Let's take it on over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got another hot day across the area. We're starting out milder than where we should be. Most of us into the upper 60s. Temperatures climbing through the 90s. We'll talk about how long this heat's going to last and when we might get some potential rain chances and cooler fall weather. When the KOAM Morning News returns, time now is 5:18.
The 77th annual Emmy Awards are on CBS this Sunday. To celebrate the best and brightest in television, Dina Demetrius has a preview of the big event.
With the red carpet now out at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles, the countdown has begun.
We're going to go write more today and then tomorrow and rehearse.
Emmy host and comedian Nate Bargatze is set to bring his family-friendly style to the big stage for the first time.
I think I need to be entertainment, and I need to be a place where people can come and have some comfort.
I actually want to talk to you about awards season.
This year, the comedy series The Studio on Apple TV earned a record 23 nominations.
Hollywood loves to award Hollywood. So when it comes to a show like The Studio and even Hacks, that could pay off in a really big way for them.
The four of you have become known as the face of severance reform.
But with 27 nominations, the dystopian Apple TV series Severance is likely to dominate the evening.
The prodigal son returns.
With stiff competition from HBO Max's medical series The Pit. 39 big names, including Catherine Zeta-Jones and Jude Law, are part of the star-studded lineup of presenters this year.
Look at the evidence.
Fellow presenter and star of the CBS reboot Matlock, Kathy Bates, has already made history with her Emmy nod.
She is the oldest nominee in the category for lead actress in a drama and is likely going to take home that trophy.
Emmy producers say the audience can also expect some nostalgic moments.
We've got a good Paradise moment with Sterling K. Brown and James Marsden, but we also have a reunion of two actors from Grey's Anatomy celebrating 20 years.
A tribute to some iconic shows on television's biggest night. Dina Demetrius, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Now, to keep the winners from going over their allotted time, Emmy host Nate Bargatze says he's donating $100,000 to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Now, you can watch all the excitement right here on KOAM Sunday night and streaming on Paramount+. Let's take it on over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got another hot day across the area. We're starting out milder than where we should be. Most of us into the upper 60s. Temperatures climbing through the 90s. We'll talk about how long this heat's going to last and when we might get some potential rain chances and cooler fall weather. When the KOAM Morning News returns, time now is 5:18. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:20 on this finally Friday in the 4 states. Not a lot to go over on the future track, at least today and tomorrow, but we do have something to show you for Sunday, at least for a few of you out there. As for today, though, we'll have clearing skies, just a few passing clouds here and there. Southwest winds at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. As we head into the overnight hours, we'll keep up with the partly cloudy skies will return, and we'll continue with those throughout the day on Saturday. Now, you may recall yesterday, you could see it still, an isolated shower, but we're talking less than 5% chance at this point. So that's why we haven't added any rain chances yet for tomorrow, simply because the chance, it's just too low. Now, could we get an isolated sprinkle somewhere in our eastern counties? Absolutely we could, but the chance is just way too low to really add on to the forecast at this point. We're talking it's like a 2% chance at best. Now, as we head into Sunday, that changes a bit, at least for some folks. As we head into the afternoon, evening hours, we'll have partly cloudy skies out there, and then in the afternoon, could get some actual isolated to slightly scattered showers and storms, but you can see they're in our very far western counties, Greenwood, Elk, Chautauqua County. Some of the showers might make it into, say, Fredonia, Yates Center, but then they die out pretty quickly. And then again, that's about it on that rain front. So that's the only chance we really have that's worth putting out there that we've got, again, for the next several days across the area. We're going to start about 70. We'll be back in the low 80s by 11, while partly cloudy skies again initially to start the day. Then we'll start to have those clouds thin out a bit, but still a few passing clouds here and there. We're looking at highs back up into the low to mid 90s, and our sunrise, take a look at that now at 6:58. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Again, we head through the evening. Initially, mostly clear skies, still very warm out there. Low 80s by 8. We're going to go into the upper 70s, still near 80 by 10 o'clock tonight. That's when we start to go partly cloudy again. Look at these lows, low 70s out there overnight tonight. And that is not where we should be. And we could get some upper 60s, but even that is not where we should be for this time of year. Now, over the next several days, Oh, it's just hot. That high pressure really taking control, and again, just giving us a second summer here. Low to mid 90s will continue through a good portion of next week. Now, we talked about it was consistent until late yesterday, where we had that boundary coming in on Thursday. It was going to bring us some rain chances, bring our temperatures down by Friday. It's looking a little more iffy on the timing. It's been scooted back a bit. So again, we have the isolated storm chances on Sunday, and as again we head into next weekend, we still have the system coming. We will still get back to normal fall-like temperatures. It just may take a little longer than we thought. So believe me, I don't like this heat wave any more than you do. The other thing we got to watch out for as well, the humidity levels won't be oppressive by any means. We do have the possibility of seeing some heat index values into the upper 90s as we head into the weekend and next week. So again, not extreme, but still enough. You want to make sure if you are outdoors, I mean, it's September. It's weird to say, but you got to make sure you're staying hydrated and taking precautions as we heat up over the next several days. That's a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a new risk for survivors of cervical cancer. A medical University of South Carolina study found women with a history of cervical cancer have nearly twice the risk of developing anal cancer. Now, both cancers are caused by HPV. Thanks to screening and the HPV vaccine, cervical cancer now has a 90% survival rate when caught early. And AI is being used more and more in healthcare, but one thing it can't do is predict suicidal behavior. That's the findings of a new University of Melbourne study. Researchers found current AI programs are not accurate at identifying people at high risk for self-harm or suicide. Researchers say it's also difficult for clinicians to identify patients with a high risk for suicide. And a new study is uncovering the most effective ways to get your kids to bed. Research published in JAMA found among kids ages 9 to 11, homes with family conflict were linked to later sleep times and poor sleep quality, and in homes where parents monitored their kids more and limited their screen time, children had better quality sleep. Sleep problems are linked to both poor mental and physical health. The so-called kissing bug disease may become an endemic in the U.S. Human cases of the potentially deadly illness have been reported in several states. Michael George has more.
A report is raising awareness about the spread of the potentially deadly Chagas disease in the U.S.
Kissing bugs are blood-sucking insects, just like mosquitoes and ticks, and they're responsible for spreading a parasite that can cause Chagas disease.
Dr. Sarah Hamer is a veterinary epidemiologist at Texas A&M University.
Chagas disease is certainly not new in the United States. We've had the kissing bug insect vectors, the Chagas parasite, infected wildlife, infected dogs, infected humans have all been around interacting for a long time.
The disease is already endemic to 21 countries in the Americas. Locally acquired human cases have been reported in 8 states.
I think it's important to emphasize that the risk is very low. This is exceedingly rare. So for most people, this is not something you should be worried about. The people who are at highest risk live in substandard housing, particularly in rural areas, and communities with limited access to pest control or screening. Hunters, campers, and other people who come into close contact with wildlife.
CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder says diagnosing Chagas can be tricky. A person may have no symptoms when first infected, or mild ones like fever, fatigue, and body aches.
Many people don't know that they have Chagas disease until the chronic phase, which can be many years later. About 20 to 30% of infected people can develop serious problems years later, which include an enlarged heart, which can cause heart failure or an abnormal heart rhythm. They can also develop an enlarged esophagus or colon, which may interfere with gastrointestinal functioning.
There are anti-parasitic treatments for Chagas, which work best when started early. Michael George, CBS News.
Dr. Gounder says the next step should be for the CDC to work with state and local health departments to do surveillance and educate doctors so that this is on their radar when they're seeing patients. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, Joplin veterans get a one-stop access to benefits and resources at a local expo.
And temperatures continue to climb across the area as we see the 90s sticking around for a while. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, shovels hit the ground for Neosho County Community College's new Fine Arts Center.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's finally Friday, September the 12th here in the 4 states. And again, it's a lot more like August as our temperatures continue to climb across the area. And this heat wave, it's not going to last forever,
no,
of course, but it is going to feel like it. It's going to last for the next several days out there. Let's start with a live look outside downtown Pittsburgh. And you can see we're looking pretty good. Got some partly cloudy skies around the area this morning. A quick look from the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line in Joplin, also looking good this morning. The future track, well, it looks good. It's the temperature side of things that's not so pleasant for us. While partly cloudy skies through the morning, as we head into the afternoon, we'll see a transition to mostly clear skies. So just a few clouds here and there. Otherwise, dry and hot. Not just warm, but hot conditions for us as we head through our Friday afternoon and into the evening. And our temperatures already for most of us pretty well above average. We're sitting at 68 in both Joplin and Pittsburgh right now, and across the region, our temperatures hovering, most of us again, mid-upper 60s. Do have some low 60s down south. Miami and Jay, the two cooler spots at 61, and Grove right behind at 62. So you're pretty close to normal down along 69. Heading through Ottawa and Delaware counties, but everybody else pretty much well above normal to start this day. Kids getting on the bus are heading out the door this morning. Upper 60s, partly cloudy skies by lunch and recess. Getting close to 90 out there. Just a few clouds at about 92 on that ride or walk back home. So again, no umbrellas necessary for us today. Sitting in mid 70s by 9 o'clock this morning. Upper 80s by noon. Our highs today into the low to mid 90s. Yeah, low to mid 90s. Average high is 84. Low to mid 90s for us. So we're talking again upwards of 10, maybe even 12 degrees above normal for some of us out there with a southwest breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now, this heat, as I mentioned, is going to stick around for a while. We'll talk about how long it's going to stick around and about some rain chances we may have down the road here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a local Veterans Expo in Joplin is helping connect former service members with the benefits and resources they've earned. The event brings together agencies and organizations offering support with VA benefits, identification card services, and other programs veterans may not realize are available. Now, one of the key focuses is suicide prevention, with groups on hand to provide outreach and assistance to those who may be struggling. Veterans say having all these services in one place makes it easier for them to access the help they need without traveling long distances.
Veterans, when they get out of the military, don't know what benefits are due them, and this is an opportunity for them to see in person the people that represent a lot of those benefits, and one-on-one with the people that they need to see to get their benefits that are, they need.
Resources included at the expo include housing, employment discounts, and much more. The groundbreaking ceremony celebrates a future fine arts center in Chanute. The Me Family of Fine Arts Center is a more than $5.5 million project at Neosho County Community College. KOAM Samantha Walker learned why college staff believe it will benefit not just students, but the whole community.
With shovels to the ground, Neosho County Community College is one step closer to getting a new fine arts center, a project decades in the making.
When I arrived on campus in 2003, I took the tour, we saw the auditorium and said 1968 was a long time ago, and it really hasn't been touched in that amount of time.
The current auditorium will be renovated and modernized with a new green room, scene shop, gallery, and courtyard.
We'll have all brand new equipment, LED lighting, state-of-the-art sound system, so we can really do theater tech training programs, which right now we can't really do because our equipment is so out of date. Enough room finally on the stage to actually have my music concerts in the new performing space without us being crammed into a corner.
a benefit to not only campus, but the community as a whole.
And now we'll have a wonderful flagship area of the college for those meetings to be a great representation of the college, but also of Neosho County as a whole.
The lead donation for the Fine Arts Center comes from the family of Miriam Mee, a former instructor and board member at the college.
They were such wonderful parents. We want to honor them and their memory and their great contribution to Chanute and the surrounding area.
Thank you for everything that you have done for this institution. Continue to do. Thank you so much.
Now they're still doing fundraising to try to cover the cost of the Mee Family Fine Arts Center, like by letting community members sponsor a theater chair.
And you can see from our donor list how many people really care about this and want to make it a reality. So that has been really refreshing to us to see so many people that we see that this is something they know they've been needed for a long time and they want to be part of it.
Reporting in Chanute, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Now, the Mee Family Fine Arts Center is expected to be completed by October 2026. Events are scheduled to begin in the new facility as early as December. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Inflation rises to 2.9% as housing and food costs climb. Plus, the FTC investigates chatbots and potential harm to children. We'll have the latest. Time now, 5:35. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, the latest consumer price index shows inflation rose 2.9% last month compared to last year. Now, there was a 0.4 increase from July to August. The report says the biggest drivers for the uptick were rising housing and food costs. The same day, the Labor Department also said jobless claims were up 27,000 last week compared to the week before, signaling that layoffs are also on the rise. Well, the Federal Trade Commission has launched an inquiry into chatbots and potential harms to children. The agency sent letters to multiple digital tech giants, including Facebook owner Meta and ChatGPT creator OpenAI, asking them to explain what steps they've taken to evaluate the safety of their chatbots when acting as companions. The move comes as ChatGPT has vowed to make changes after the company was sued by the family of a teen boy alleging the chatbot led to his suicide. Some of the companies involved tell CBS News they will cooperate with the FTC. And nearly 600,000 Toyota and Lexus models have been recalled due to issues with the vehicle's display panel. The Japanese automaker says the instrument screen could stay blank at startup, depriving drivers of vital indicators, which could increase the risk of a crash and injury. Owners will be contacted by mid-November to take affected vehicles to the dealership for a free repair. That's a look at Consumer Watch this morning. Let's take it on over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got partly cloudy skies to start, and believe it or not, we are seeing a few isolated showers in some of our eastern counties. We'll have a look at that and our summer heat when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now is 5:40. We'll be right back.
Well, what time do you eat breakfast? Why that may matter when it comes to your health in today's Ag Day Minute.
Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. The problems over citrus greening in California are growing. It's causing the state to increase the quarantine areas to try and stop the spread of the disease. Now, the boundary, it expanded in the San Clemente area of Orange and San Diego counties. You can see the boundaries in blue there on this map. Now, covering more than 2,900 square miles. HLB, or citrus greening, has devastated crops in Florida. It's a bacterial disease that attacks citrus trees. There is no known cure. When you eat breakfast may be the biggest factor in your overall health. According to a recent study of some 3,000 older adults in the UK, the timing of your first meal may affect both your health and longevity. The researchers say data shows later breakfast times are linked to shorter lifespans, including a 10% higher risk of death, as well as higher risk for depression, anxiety, and fatigue. Adding that the results are more of an association than cause and effect. Fast food restaurants are everywhere, but nowhere more than in West Virginia. A QR code generator compared the number of fast food restaurants in each state to its population, and it found that West Virginia has more than 49 restaurant chains per 100,000 residents. Subway, McDonald's, and Wendy's were among the most popular chains. Kentucky came in second, followed by Kansas, Mississippi, and Ohio. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
All right, let's take it on over now to Chris for a full look at today's forecast.
Yeah, and we've got something that it showed up, we've talked about it. You get that one computer that says something, and it turns out to be the one that's right. Take a look at what we've got taking place over into St. Clair, Cedar, and Dade counties right now. We have some showers that have developed out there. So north of Osceola, we've got another one that's east of El Dorado Springs into parts of St. Clair County. Then we stretch, and these are heavier showers, no thunderstorm activity at this point. And then we've got some showers here that are to the west of Stockton. And then we head further south. We've got another one here that's just to the northeast of Golden City, and a stray shower here into the northwestern corners of Lawrence County. So again, there was one this morning that I looked at early this morning, said that they could get we could get some showers in our eastern counties, but again, it was the only one that really showed anything, and the others kind of disagreed, but it turns out it was the one that was right, because there they are. Now they're moving south, but they're trying to develop like a southwesterly line here. We're not expecting much, but at the same time, most of the computers said we weren't expecting anything, so we'll keep an eye on these showers for you. We also have some scattered showers. These were expected. They're up along the I-70 corridor into northeastern Kansas. So like I said, we've got these showers. They are moving south. We'll see how long they hold out, but at least some of us getting some rain this morning to start the day. The majority of us, though, at this point still expected to remain dry, and these showers not expected to last too long. Going back to that one computer data, piece of computer data from earlier this morning, they weren't expected to make it even to the noon hour, but again, we'll see how they pan out. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies through the morning. As we head into the afternoon and evening, we'll have mostly clear skies, so just a few passing clouds here and there. Overnight, clouds increase a bit. We start going partly cloudy tonight into our Saturday. Still hinting at one shower, perhaps two, tomorrow afternoon and evening. So again, at this point, with what you see and how short-lived it may be, if we get anything at all, we have not put any rain chances in for Saturday because the chance is just super low, but at least a sprinkle or two may be possible. Now, they do have some slight rain chances that we've got on the horizon for Sunday, because we could get a few isolated pop-up shower storms along 75 corridor by Sunday afternoon. And then by Sunday evening, briefly, we get some showers and storms into our far western counties. They die out pretty quickly, but for Fredonia Yates Center, you might get a stray shower or two before those die out as we head later into the evening on our Sunday. All right, partly cloudy skies to start, and again, we'll watch those showers out to the east, see exactly what they do. Otherwise, I think, again, the majority of us off to the west are going to be dry. 70 to start, low 80s by 11 o'clock this morning as our highs continue to climb. Low to mid 90s out there for us today. And just again, to put things in perspective, our average high is 84. So we're going to be above that, anywhere 5-10 degrees above average today. Southwest winds 5 to 10. Mostly clear skies, still pretty warm through the evening. Low 80s by 8, still near 80 by 10 o'clock tonight. And that's when we'll start to see a transition back to partly cloudy skies. We're back into the low 70s tonight. Now tomorrow kicks off a stretch. Pop-up storm chances, you know what they feed off of, right? Some of that moisture, the humidity, that energy that builds during the day that we get in the summertime. So we are looking at heat index values over the next few days, getting into the upper 90s. We're not looking at oppressive humidity or dew point levels, but still upper 90 heat index values. You got to make sure you're staying hydrated, taking care of yourself, because it is going to stay hot through the weekend and most of next week. That system we were hoping for on Thursday still showing up, but not having an impact on our temperatures until we get into next weekend. But we will eventually fall back to fall normals. That's checking your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with sports.
All right, thanks. In sports this morning, volleyball season is in full swing with conference games getting underway across the 4 states as local team lock horns on this Thursday. Starting in Galena with the Bulldogs battling a Southeast second set. Bulldogs with a lead, and going on the attack, setting up middle hitter Weslin Russell, who adds to that lead with this kill. But the Lancers aren't going down without a fight off the Galena serve. They go to the outside, and Braylon Sutton, who brings the power on the spike. Later in the set, the Bulldogs going back to the girl in the middle. Russell this time finding a hole in defender with this touch for the kill. Galena with set point, looking to take a 2-0 lead. Back to the attack, connecting with outside hitter Riley Meyer, seals the deal with this spike as the Bulldogs cruise to win in straight sets over Southeast. Well, Frontenac at home welcoming in Independence. The Raiders lead 2-0. Bulldogs set it up for Caitlin Spencer, but Hadley Goodwin is right there for the block, and the Raiders get the point. They lead 13-5. Next point, two Bulldogs dive for it, and they dig it out, keeping the play alive and securing the point for Independence, cutting into the deficit. Frontenac looking to respond later in the set. Ellie Bloom tees it up for Reese Franklin, whose powerful spike can't be returned. Franklin gets the kill, and Raiders lead grows to 15-7. Frontenac looking to close it out. Brooklyn Condon looks to thread the needle in the far corner with her return, but it's just out of bounds. But it's the Raiders picking up the win as home over Independence, 3-0. Well, it's the Pitt State Classic from John Lance Arena with the Gorillas taking on Maryville. Pitt State down 24-18 in the first set. They need a rally, and Maddie LaPointe jump starts the comeback, leaping and slamming it home for the kill. PSU has some life. Next serve, Vix Violet at the net. Now her spike finds the floor, and the Gorillas trail by just 4, but they aren't done there. Next point, Violet's attack is returned, but Anna Dean keeps it alive, helping set the table for LaPointe, who secures the point with another kill. Maryville's Mallory Snell in great position to clinch the set for the Saints, but her attack goes straight into the net, and just like that, PSU has tied it up. A little later, they have the advantage. Jessa Wallace sets it up for Cassidy Nixon, who gets the kill, and the Gorillas come from behind to steal set number 1. As the Gorillas go ape in this one, defeating Maryville in straight sets. Now, the gauntlet continues for Pitt State as they enter week 3 of the season after battling top-ranked Ferris State and top 20 Central Oklahoma on the road. The Gorillas take on number 3 Grand Valley State in their home opener on Saturday. After facing double-digit deficits early on in both matchups to start the year, Pitt State is focusing on starting fast. Head coach Tom Anthony says that it comes down to the players' mindsets entering the games and is tweaking practices to have more of a game day feel.
We started slow, both games, and like I've been stressing to our guys all week and after the game, you play really good teams, you can't spot them extra points, right? And so as you look back over those last 2 games, we're down multiple scores by the end of the first quarter. So that part we got to fix. The best part is then you watch those guys battle back, just chip away, keep fighting, and now we're right back in the games. To me, it's more restructuring practice to make it as much of like a game day kind of environment as you can.
All week, the coaches have been getting on to us about passion. So, Coach Ant changed the flow of practice and everything like that. Right out of stretch, we're doing good on good. So I think we adapted well to that. Practice have been going well. So just passion to start fast.
Now, the Gorillas offense took a step forward last week, totaling more than 400 yards against the Broncos. Despite their success as a unit against Central Oklahoma, Pitt State believes they need to improve at finishing drives. And as they enter Saturday's matchup against the Lakers, the Gorillas are focused on executing at a higher level in the red zone.
I think one thing we've seen through the first 2 weeks is our offense has the ability to generate a lot of yards, right? Now, where do we have to get better at? We got to get better in the red zone. We got to finish drives with points, field goals, and touchdowns. Unfortunately, we had that, that interception there late in the game down in the low red zone. Another chance for us to put points on the board. But again, it's just we're generating yards. We're moving the football. Now we just got to finish with points, in the red zone.
The Gorillas return to the jungle against the Lakers tomorrow. Kickoff is set for 4 p.m. from Kearney Smith Stadium. That's a look at sports. We'll be right back. Well, a stolen car chase through Los Angeles ended at a gas station in the Downey-Norwalk area. Police used a pit maneuver to stop the vehicle, and the suspect was arrested without further incident. Utah Governor Spencer Cox says he will pursue the death penalty in the assassination of political activist Charlie Kirk. Investigators reviewed surveillance footage showing the suspect on the roof of Utah Valley University, then fleeing across campus and into a wooded area where a high-powered rifle was recovered. Police say the suspect left behind palm and shoe prints and was last seen wearing Converse shoes, a black t-shirt with an American flag and eagle, a triangle logo baseball cap, and sunglasses.
And we've got a few showers into parts of our eastern counties out there this morning. Otherwise, the majority of us dry, while partly cloudy skies outside of that to start the day. About 70 by 8 into the low 80s by 11 o'clock this morning. Temperatures begin heating up by this afternoon, low to mid 90s across the region. At southwest winds 5 to 10. We'll also have mostly clear skies, so just a passing cloud or two. Mostly clear skies will continue into the evening hours as well. We'll start to go partly cloudy by late evening. Take a look at these temperatures, though. Still in the low 80s by 10, by 8, still near 80 by 10. And our overnight lows tonight above normal, the majority of us into the low 70s. Could get an isolated shower in our far eastern counties tomorrow, but right now, again, the chance is too low to really put up on here. But if that changes, of course, we'll add it in there. And then our far western counties, Greenwood, Elk, Chautauqua, could get a stray shower storm tomorrow evening after about 4 or 5 o'clock, which could lead to a stray shower too as far east as Fredonia or Yates Center, but these will be short-lived. Additionally, starting tomorrow, we start to see opportunities for heat index values into the upper 90s, so you want to make sure you're staying hydrated out there as we stay hot for the next several days. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.